All right, hello and welcome to Algebra 1. This is lesson 5.2, solving inequalities by multiplication and division. Previous objective was to solve equations by using multiplication and division back in chapter 2. And today we are solving linear inequalities by using multiplication and division. Same concept, same rules apply. Although instead of an equal sign, we will be dealing with inequality sign. Let's get started. Great news, there's no new vocabulary to write down for today. So let's get started with the lesson. Multiplication property of inequalities. If both sides of the inequality that is true are multiplied by a positive number, the result inequality is also true. Your sign stays the same. If both sides of an inequality that is true are multiplied by a negative number, the direction of the inequality sign is reversed to make the resulting inequality also true. What I want you to do is repeat after me. If I multiply or divide by a negative, I must flip the sign. Again, if I multiply or divide by a negative, I must flip the sign. Let's get started. Solving by multiplying. We are starting right off the bat with some fractions. I know fractions, some of you are afraid, don't really know how to solve them. I'm going to just teach you a shortcut or a trick, a different way to look at fractions. We have negative 3/5 d is greater than or equal to 6. I'm going to treat this as negative 3d divided by 5 is greater than or equal to 6. What that means is I haven't changed anything. It's the same exact problem as up here. But when I look at this, it's a lot more solvable because I know that I need to multiply both sides by 5. I get negative 3d on this side is left is greater than or equal to 30. And then my last step is to divide both sides by a negative 3. Now just like we had repeated, if I multiply or divide by a negative, I must flip the sign. So instead of greater than or equal to, it is now less than or equal to, and my answer is negative 10. Okay, those of you who are comfortable with multiplying by the reciprocal or dividing by negative 3/5, I'm just going to show you quick that you will get the exact same answer by multiplying by the reciprocal because basically that's all we did. So I'm going to multiply both sides by a negative 5/3. Now these would cancel out, and on this side you'd be left with d is greater than or equal to, and 6 times a negative 5/3, we divided or multiplied by a negative. So instead of keeping my sign this way, I have to flip my sign to negative 10. Again, you'd get the same answer. So here we're at a checkpoint if you want to pause the video and try this one yourself. And we will come back together to see if you got the same answer as I did. All right. Again, I'm going to rewrite it as 5p on the top and 7 on the bottom is greater than negative 20. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 7, and I get 5p is greater than negative 140. And now I'm dividing both sides by 5. I'm dividing both sides by a positive 5, so my sign needs to stay the same. And a negative 140 divided by 5 is negative 28. Okay? Even though it's equal to a negative, we did not multiply or divide by a negative number. It was by a positive 5. So our sign stays the same. Hopefully you got the same answer as I did. We are already to the multiple choice question on the Google page. So take a moment. Negative 1/3 x is greater than 10. Which one of these options is the true inequality that would make this problem true? Record your answer in the Google form, and let's move on. Division property of inequalities, exactly the same as the multiplication properties. If we multiply or divide by a negative, we must flip the signs. So let's take a look at some division inequality problems. First example, 12s is greater than or equal to 60. It's multiplying, so I'm going to undo the multiplication here and divide both sides by 12. And I get S is greater than or equal to 5. Yep, 5. Okay, we divided by a positive 12, so our sign stays the same. S is greater than or equal to 5. Any number greater than or equal to 5 would make that inequality true. Let's try another one. We are at a checkpoint. If you want to pause the video and try this one on your own, we'll come back together and see if you got the same answer as I did. All right, I have negative 9v is greater than or equal to negative 108. And now I'm dividing both sides by a negative. And I get v is greater than or equal to negative 12. Did you catch my mistake? I divided by a negative, but I did not flip the sign. The correct answer is v is less than or equal to negative 12. Hopefully you caught that as in your problem as you tried it previously. The answer is v is less than or equal to negative 12. All right, another checkpoint, just another practice problem if you want to pause the video and see if you get the same answer as I do. All right, I get negative 8. Negative 8q is less than 136. When I divide both sides by a negative 8, I get q is greater than negative 17. All right, we divided both sides by a negative, so we have to flip the sign. All right, this is the open-ended question on the Google form. 5.2, pretty basic. We're just doing basic problems with solving multiplication and division inequalities. This is the open-ended question on the Google page. So go ahead and submit your answers when you're done, and we will move on to 5.3 next. Thanks.